Man, Crash Out Economics, Episode 1, Business Attire, because this is a very serious situation, man. If you don't know, hip hop is slowly devolving into fascism. And I've made several videos on this before, but it seems like the most blatant case of this going down had to be this weekend at Turning Point USA's America Fest, or as I like to call it, Nazi Coachella, where Nicki Minaj came out, and for some reason, I do not know why, she was the keynote speaker in this situation. I mean, she wasn't the whole keynote speaker. I mean, we had Epstein affiliates like Steve Bannon posted up, who were also challenging what other speakers at the time we're talking about, and Ben Shapiro. There was a lot of straight just madness going on. But Erika Kirk, for some reason, brought out Nicki Minaj, even though her husband, who was, straight up murked just a couple months ago, literally in his own words, said that Cardi B and Nicki Minaj were terrible role models for all black women in America.
Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls.
Even though him and his work wife were posted up, listening to Nicki Minaj in previous videos, him and Candace Owens and stuff like that. But it shows a lot of how hip hop is turning far right. But this in itself was probably the craziest example of this. We had Nicki Minaj on stage talking about eugenics. We had her whole conversation talking about, everything that this administration is doing, which is honestly super crazy because at one point in time, not too long ago, she was a beacon for the black community and the LGBTQ plus community. She made it cool to be yourself. She was like the first big rapper, female rapper, at least for me growing up, that I saw that I was like, dang, like she's like actually super fire. Obviously coming out of Young Money with Drake and Lil Wayne at the time, she was literally the biggest and is the biggest female rapper of all time. So to see her on stage with Erika Kirk literally glazing, I'm talking about bouncing on it for the Trump administration, was honestly something that would bring tears to many people's eyes. And it's honestly crazy, bro. It all started with her cousin's balls. Yes, I got to talk about that whole situation. That is when everyone first started seeing that she had some type of far right ideology. I know she's been on drugs or accused of being on drugs for mad long, but it all started back in the pandemic. I know y'all remember that, where she basically posted unsubstantiated tweets about her cousin's balls getting enlarged because of a vaccine in Trinidad or some shit like that, that the Trinidadian government basically had to come out and disprove because it was reaching millions of people that were thinking that like their balls were going to explode or some shit like that if they were out here taking the vaccine. So she was literally spreading RFK level misinformation about the vaccine. But why are you taking vaccine instructions from a pop star? I have no idea. But regardless of that, that is definitely where it started. And there's been a lot of people online that are trying to really figure out also why exactly is she embracing this administration so wholeheartedly. She came out just a couple of weeks ago and was talking about, oh yeah, like the Christians in Nigeria are basically getting persecuted, which isn't fundamentally true. Yes, there's a whole situation going on in Nigeria where people are being slaughtered, but it's generally everyone. It's not just like how you see in, for instance, Sudan, or how you see in Gaza, where it's a particular group that are basically getting slaughtered. What's happening in Nigeria, yes, is very serious, but to make it a point of just talking about a Christian genocide while totally sidestepping the other genocides that are obvious genocides against people of a particular race or creed versus just people getting killed is kind of seeming a little bit disingenuous. Like, why not just talk about all the genocides that are basically going on? Why are we talking about the specific situation, talking about Christians? Well, it's because they're using her to push a far right Christian ideology. And it's honestly crazy. And I don't know if she's falling for it, but many are suspecting it's due to the fact to her affiliation with Big Zoo, who is her sex offender husband, who is not allowed to be within 100 yards of a Chuck E. Cheese, a school, or a park. And apparently, I think people believe that maybe she's like trying to get in the good graces of the administration so that Big Zoo, Kenneth Petty, who the fuck names themselves Big Zoo, bro? First off. Anyways, he can be off of the sex offender list because it's caused him a lot of different problems. First off, he was like getting in trouble in California because of the fact that he wasn't registering as a sex offender and they were moving around, and it was a whole issue. And, you know, he should definitely have to register, but I guess it's some source of embarrassment. She's gone back and forth with everyone, including her fans, who have literally talked about, damn, bro, like, why you put this your man's right here? Man, this dude, I feel like is the start of the downfall for Nicki Minaj, if we're really going to talk about it. And we're going to get into the whole Erika Kirk stuff because this is the most obvious downfall, obviously. Her fall from grace is crazy. But when she started getting with Kenneth Petty, Big Zoo, that is when everything went downhill. I'm talking about bro was out here. He's one of them 50-year-old old heads who still be on the block talking about they running the block. Like, bro, go get a 401k. Go golfing, man. Go get a hobby. Go mow a lawn or some shit like that, man. Like, why are you out here on the block? He had a whole altercation. He was on IG Live and basically got on house arrest because he was threatening people on IG Live.
All y'all bitch niggas, let's play, man. Y'all wanna play? It's all fun and games too. We wanna play too.
We outside.
Somebody tell Offset, because Offset DM me.
This is the type of person that I'm talking about. This whole family is completely dysfunctional, probably on drugs, should not be having kids, even though they do have kids. And Kenneth Petty, he definitely cannot be around any kids within 100 yards of any kids. So, long story short, people thought that maybe Nicki Minaj was glazing D1 glazing. I'm talking USDA D1 glazing the Trump administration on a new level of glazing. I feel like I've seen sycophants in the actual far right sphere, but I have never seen someone who is not even a political actor or anything turn to this level of glazing that it has people like, damn, bro, like what happened?
Administration, what has been maybe the biggest surprise for you, or something that you just really has been put on your heart that you've learned about our president and our vice president?
Well, I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president. He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win, and to do it with your head held high and your integrity intact. He's from Queens, New York, like me. So, but what it's shown me personally is sometimes, you know, even in the worst feeling times in your life, you think that you're never going to come back from it. But you do. And our president shows that.
And just knowing that the majority of her fans, the Barbs, are usually like black and queer and like people of color, or just average rap fans. Like, yeah, you got some like Myron Gaines type black people that are out here being like black white supremacists like Uncle Ruckus and shit like that. But who would have thought that they would be at this type of level? So after all this introduction, man, we're going to watch this full damn video of Nicki Minaj and Erika Kirk because it's honestly something crazy. And the fact that they came out to Super Bass, like one of her older songs and shit, it's like honestly crazy, bro. Like they really conservative, trying to get stuck in the times. So let's tap in with this shit right